Hi y'all, it's Erica Elizabeth McManus and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a really long time. It's been more than 3 months since my last video because with doing my weekly vlogs, once we got into the clinic phase, it just felt very repetitious and I kind of lost that drive because it's just like, okay, wash, rinse, repeat. I'm here at school, I'm taking clients, and you know, how is that going to be entertaining for my YouTube channel? So once I got through it, once I got through a couple weeks, I'm like, you know what, instead of just doing this weekly, repeating everything, because I did have a lot of repeat clients, go me, yay yay, but I thought, you know, maybe if I just did a video talking about, you know, things that I suggest to do during beauty school, what to do, what not to do, some helpful tips, I thought that would be really great, but then once I had this idea, other things started happening. There was drama and everything. It's just like, you know what? Let's just get to the end of the program and then just give this big, massive, big old chunk of advice video. But instead of doing like hours long video, I figured I'd just talk about 5 really important tips for while you're in the clinical phase of beauty school, when you're actually taking clients and, you know, working, when you're actually doing the work. So here we go. I mean, let's just skip over this whole I am quarantining for COVID, so I have plenty of time on my hands while I'm quarantining and recovering. But, you know, minute details. Tip number 1 is something that I repeated so many times, and it's do your workbook, study, learn what you're in school for, learn what you paid for. Do your Kahoots, do your Quizlets, and really use your Learn Aveda resources. But those really are going to be your #1 resources for when you go to take your national exam. Because when we got that email saying, hey, you're able to take your national exam, go log in, find a date, email us back. We got that on July 21st, and I happened to read the email during my lunch break at Starbucks. And I was one of those people. I found dates the next day, and I emailed Jory. I'm like, look, I want to take this on July 22nd at 2:45 or 3 o'clock. I was one of those people. And passed the test. So I was really excited, did my little victory dance. But as soon as my classmates found out, you know, oh, hey, what should we study, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you want to just study everything that we went to school for. Like, if you study that, if you are comfortable and well-versed, you're going to pass. Stop stressing. So I cannot reiterate that enough. Do your workbook, learn what you paid for, learn what you're going to school for, and all the exams and everything are going to be so easy you won't second guess. And I'll tell y'all this, when I took my national exam, you were given 90 minutes for 115 questions, 125, and I took less than 45 minutes, and I second guessed on maybe like 3, 4, 5 questions, like no big deal. I was going to pass regardless. And I am going to emphasize this as well. Do not tell your classmates what is on the exam and what they should study. When people were asking me, I was like, if you feel like you are weak in a subject, study that. But you need to be studying everything, because if it is found out that you are telling people what's on the national exam, if you talk about it or any of that, then you can have that revoked, and then you cannot legally be working as an esthetician. So better safe than sorry. When it comes to talking about the test, zip it. Number 2 is to be active in your class. I will go ahead and say that at the beginning of the year, I was very excited. I was like, yes, I'm going to make so many friends. This is going to be great. I love the energy. And then it quickly became divided. And there were people who were saying that our teacher, Miss Tracy, that she was teaching, she was doing, you know, that she was doing her job, she was helping us and whatnot. And then there was another half of the class who's like, that's not my teacher. She's teaching that part of the classroom. She's not teaching us. She doesn't care about us. And it's like, look, you get what you give. So if you are being active, if you are participating and just interacting and making your time worth it while in school, you're going to get something out of it. Because a lot of people just felt like, I paid all this money and for what? I didn't get anything. I didn't learn anything from the school. I was self-taught. I could have been taught all this online. In a way, we kind of were. And that's not our fault. That's not Aveda's fault, because there are rules that businesses and schools have to abide by with teaching during a pandemic, during COVID, and all the rules and everything. But again, you get what you give out of it. So, do what you want. You're the one who's paying for it. You've got student loans and everything. If you want to sit there and just gossip and not do anything, that's totally up to you. Or you can be active in your education. You can take to social media and start booking your clients, making sure that you're not sitting there and doing nothing for an entire day. Like, just be active, do something. Don't just sit there and just, it's Wednesday, it's another day, I'm here in this building, not doing anything. No. Social media, workbook, there's always something to do. So be active. Now, number 3 is something I kind of had to learn the hard way, and I should have expected it. Beauty school, there's going to be a lot of drama. In fact, it's going to be very reminiscent of high school. You would think that, I would be prepared for this, being in a family of girls and whatnot, but it still hit me, and I still got frustrated. But what I had to remind myself was, you know what? I'm here for my education. I'm here for my future career. Keep my head down, do what I'm supposed to do, and get out of school with good comments, good grades, and whatnot. Just to get a little personal, I had a really bad sinus infection, and somebody went to the director and said, and basically told lies about me. Said that, I wasn't wearing my face mask, that I was coughing on people, and that I need to prove that I got a COVID test and that I don't have COVID. Like I said, it was a sinus problem, and every time that I was in school, my mask was always on. Despite, girls bringing heaters into the room because they're anemic and the room was cold, according to them. But they would bring their heaters, dry my sinuses out, and I would cough, I would sneeze, whatever. But I would have my mask on, respecting people's health and everything. I would pull my mask away, but enough so that when I go to and cough, which I did not have COVID. Let me be straight clear about that. I have COVID now, but not right, but not when this was going on. But I would pull my mask away so I'm not sucking in fabric, and I can actually cough and get the germs expelled out of my body. Like I said, there are girls who are anemic, and there was someone else who is autoimmune deficient, and we also had a classmate who is pregnant. So I was very aware of being away from them. Well, one girl took it upon herself to go to the director, not only lie about me, say that I didn't have my mask on, I was coughing on people, and that I need to prove that I didn't have COVID. I finally got sick and tired of the bullying. I went to the director. I'm like, that is not true. If there was, I would be the first one to take myself out of the classroom, because I have no immune system. If anybody coughs or sneezes around me, if I hear about a cold or some kind of virus, I'm the first one out, because having no immune system, you suffer not only worse, but a little longer, whatever. But it's just like, are you kidding me? Someone is going to the director and trying to get me kicked out? Like, let me pat myself on the back, because that means that I'm a threat to them. I'm a target. That, I'm somehow threatening them. And it's like, you know what? No. I set the record straight. The director's like, are you sure that you're fine? And I'm like, yes, sir. If I wasn't, I would tell the teacher who I have trust in. I would tell you, and I would work something out. Other than that, everything is fine. And the director's like, okay, yeah, no problem. Later on, there were people lying about the teacher and all this other stuff. Went to the director, and I'm like, look, I am not comfortable with this. This is being said, that's being said, and it's not true. I just wanted to let you know about that. Because given the history of some people around here, I don't think that the teacher should have to suffer based on lies, based on stuff that's being said. So, again, it was very much like high school, very much, cat drama, girl on girl drama. And it was really sickening, and it just got me to a point where it's like, you know what? Keep my head down, do my work. I'm going to get my clients in. The people who do come in, who request me, they're going to get the best service that they could get in this entire school. That's my job. That's what I'm here to do. And then June 12th is my last day. I'm out, and I will never have to hear from these girls again. So really sad fact, but it is a fact nonetheless. One of my friends in Connecticut, she does lash extensions. She's like, Erica, you're getting into the beauty industry. There's going to be a lot of catfighting like that, and it's nothing new. Just, you're good at what you do, and that's why people are picking on you. Keep going at it. And I did. Hey y'all, editing me. Something that I wanted to mention but kind of forgot until, you know, I was done recording and everything. So something that Aveda tries to really hype you up for, especially when you're in clinicals and you start getting that, you know, that nervousness about state board and being prepared and everything. They tell you, oh, well, we have a boot camp and you'll be totally ready. Week 1, you talk about the verbiage, the rules and everything, and you're given your supplies list. And then for weeks 2, 3, and 4, if you do not come in with your state board kit, then you cannot participate in class for the day, and that does kind of double whammy you. So first one, it was 4 Wednesdays. So while we were not taking clients on Wednesday, the intro class, they were upstairs doing clinicals and whatnot while we were getting ready for state board. So week 1, we learned the verbiage of a 20-minute facial and a 45 makeup application. And then week 2, week 3, and week 4, we practice. There were some girls that didn't show up with their stuff for week 2, but they still were able to be there for the lesson and whatnot. I got paired up with Adhana, and then when it came to makeup application, it's just like, I have stuff for the shade, you know, foundation and all that for shade for me or my sister, not for someone who's African American. And Adhana didn't have her makeup stuff. She has some, but she didn't have everything. And so it's just like, all right, let me work with eyeshadow and everything else and see what I can do. And apparently my purple eyeshadow, it was really good up close, but far away, it was not state board, quality. And so we didn't really get graded on it. It's just like, oh, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, do this instead. And then week 3 and week 4, I got paired up with Faith. And for the last week, Faith had her hair done where it was like black roots and then it was blonde. It looked really good on her. So then when I went to do her makeup, when I went to go do her eyebrows, my brown eye pencil was not dark enough. And so I kind of topped it with my black eye pencil. And then later on, when I got critiqued, the teacher who was there, it wasn't Miss Heather. Miss Heather was there with us to get us ready for state board. She has a very high rate of everyone passing state board. So if she's the one to learn from, it's her. And there was another teacher, I won't name her because they're just really negative feelings towards her. And it's stuff that I didn't do. She called our class the Mean Girls and went around telling rumors about us, and I wasn't a part of it, but because I was part of that class, I was a mean girl apparently. So there's that little note. But the teacher came up and she's like, she cut me off real quick when I was verbalizing what I was doing, because that's what state board really is it's showing, techniques, the right direction, everything, the right order of products, what products do. It's just verbalizing what you're physically doing. And so for the 20-minute facial, got that. In fact, people are like, Erica, talk loudly so we know what to say because you've got your lines right. So pat on my back. But then with the makeup, the instructor cut me off and she's like, you don't ever do black eyebrows on someone. It doesn't matter how black their hair is. You don't give them black eyebrows. And I was like, okay, I just kind of wanted to match closer towards, her natural root color, because there's no way I could do a blonde eyebrow. Like, that would just be ridiculous. She's like, it doesn't matter. You don't do a black eyebrow on someone. Meanwhile, I'm looking at my instructor who has black hair and then her eyebrows are microbladed and they're black. So that just really got me frustrated. And the fact that we as a class, you know, the timing and everything with the hybrid learning, we were online. And when we got to makeup, we just essentially got theory. We only applied makeup to ourselves. Nobody applied makeup to anybody else unless we just, you know, oh, hey, want to do my makeup? I've got a hot date or something. Or if you were like me and you were practicing on the mannequins and you got credit for it. Otherwise, people were not doing makeup. It was just, it was really, really frustrating. So I got upset when it came to doing state board makeup because we're told, oh, think 80s prom, think stage makeup. I did stage makeup for over 20 years, and, you know, to be told, oh, that's not stage makeup, that's not right. It's like, okay. And what else was there? I mean, and another thing, it was, you know, worry about yourself. Like I had someone come up to me and say, well, Erica, when are you going to teach a lesson on stage makeup? Do I look like a teacher? Do I look like an educator? No. Well, don't you want your classmates to pass? After the way that I've been treated by this person and other things and the way people act around here, I don't owe anybody anything. I'm here for my education. I'm here for my career. And that's who I'm going to worry about. I can't be watching you and being like, oh, you need to do this instead. No, because then I get reminded I'm not a teacher. I don't know anything. And I'm not going to waste my time. If this is important to you, then you'll do what you have to do for it. It's not going to be my responsibility. It's not my responsibility to make sure that you know how to talk about doing a 20-minute facial. It's not my responsibility to show you, you know, what complementary colors are and how you're going to complement someone's eye color with their eyeshadow, or how you're going to contour a square face into an oval shape, which is considered the ideal shape. And, you know, all those other things that I spent time studying that you could have too. So that's just one little extra grievance that I had about my beauty school experience. And now back to our regular scheduled show. And I will interject this. I did end up getting a staph infection from a Brazilian wax. No need to stress, staph is always on our skin. It's just infections happen. But this infection ended up spreading to a spot behind my ear that I ended up going to the ER for. I showed up to school the next day. I was really tired, didn't feel good, stomach. I was just a little irritable. And people were like, well, what's wrong? What's the matter? I'm like, I spent the night at the ER. They're like, what? You were at the ER? And someone tried using that again to go to the director of the school and say, well, she was in the ER. She's got COVID. It's like, I did not have COVID. It was a staph infection. It's taken care of. I'm on antibiotics. Not that y'all are entitled to this information, but I feel like I have to defend myself, which is really, really sad that I got to that point. But, you know, just, you know, stupidity. That's what it is. Straight up stupidity. And on that note, let's do a little positive spin. Something that you want to do is you want to practice good habits while you're in the clinic, because this is going to set you up for when you have a job outside of school. Things like arriving 30 minutes early, setting up your room. Even if you don't have a client, you never know if you're going to have a walk-in. Or even checking your schedule at, you know, 2 to 3 weeks ahead, so that you can check if there are places that, you know, if you're doing a social media outreach and trying to get people on your books, and someone says, oh, well, do you have anything available, not this Friday, but next Friday? You already have that in your schedule, and you can look at it and be like, you know what, yeah, go ahead and call this phone number or go onto this website and book your appointment. Because like right now, I have a job at a salon, and I am the one esthetician. And from the times that I was in clinicals, there were times where I did not have a partner. So if I had back-to-back appointments, I already knew, okay, I've got 10 minutes in between when this person leaves and when the next person should be on my bed. So I learned how to flip my bed, sanitize my room, and get everything ready for a brand new facial, back treatment, body polish, whatever was next up. I can flip a room in less than 15 minutes. In fact, that is something that I am still able to do at my job right now. That was something I kind of bragged about during my interviews was that, you know, I'm very solo efficient, and while I appreciate help, I'm going to act like I am all by myself, which the owner of the salon, he's like, you know what, that's really great because I know nothing about what you do. I think you're a really great benefit to my team, but if you can work by yourself, that's great. If you need help, ask for it, but if you can do it by yourself, go for it. So it was, you know, it's a really great thing to be self-sufficient, you know, not just only in aesthetics, but, you know, in life in general. That doesn't mean don't ask for help if you need it, but just get into practicing those good habits while you're in school. So again, it carries over into job, and you have those things that make you stand out from other people who are competing for the same job, if you are competing for it. The last bit of advice that I have is do your own job search. I know that there are schools who offer job placement and career fairs and whatnot, but this is something that I highly suggest you take into your own hands. I was looking for jobs back in January, and I was already interviewing with some salons in the Slidell area because that's something that I learned how to do when I was younger. I already had my resume typed up as a student, and I already put some certificates and awards that I had already been given up to that point in school, and I was passing out my resume, I was emailing, and I was calling salons, and I was interviewing back in January. And I am currently working with one of those salons right now. I have been with them for 4 weeks to date, and yes, I'm off to a nice start with having to quarantine for COVID. But with schools offering job fairs and career fairs, that was really, really great. In particular for the one that I was a part of, it was in person. It was, you know, it was a bit much. It was very crowded, but you know, that's just how our location is. But there were a lot of these salons and spas, they were centered in the New Orleans Metairie area. There was one salon, they had a location in Metairie, and they have a location in Mandeville, which is across the lake from New Orleans, but it's also a 30-minute drive going west from me. So that was a little inconvenient. I was willing to drive to these places if I got a good enough offer, but there were two salons here that I was in constant communication with, and I ended up working for one of them. And even after I graduated, I finally heard back from 3 salons, and I went to the interviews, went to the job shadows, and they were really great. But again, the commute was just not worth it for me. I even had a wax studio reach out to me through email because they saw my resume on Indeed, and I turned them down because I don't want to do Brazilian waxing. I could do bikini. I don't want to do Brazilian waxing. I don't want to do any bikini facials or vajacials, as they're called. People are trying to change the terms for some of these treatments that we do as estheticians. I love it. I think it shows people's creativity, and it more clearly describes what the service is, so it's not confusing to future clientele. But you know, go ahead and take control of, you know, set your limits. Like I said, I wanted to be strictly in Slidell. There are really great salons here. There are, you know, it's a growing area. But I didn't want to do a 30-minute commute to and from work because I also have Arthur, who's in preschool, and I want to be home. I want to drop him off at school or help him catch the bus, and I want to be home when the bus is there. And I'm very lucky that I have a boss who understands that and works with me with that as well, and I'm able to work with him. But, you know, have your resume when you go to these career fairs, have your business card, have your information that you can give to them instead of them, you know, giving it all to people. You know, stand out. And that's one way to stand out, is to have your resume right there with all your information, or your business card. Like, you know what? If you like what you see, here's my contact info. It's not just one of like, oh, put your name in a bowl and we'll call you. We might call you. We might not call you. And it's also a really great way to collaborate and have referrals. For example, I don't do Brazilian waxing. I don't do vajacials. I don't do eyebrow microblading. But I will tell you this, that we had 3 guest speakers for esthetician students, and I talked with them. I followed them on Instagram, and I've had at least 2 people come into the salon that I'm currently working at, and they were asking about, who does this kind of service that y'all don't offer, who does microblading, who does eyebrow tinting, what is it, and all this other stuff. And I have given information out of other estheticians. Katie Elise, she is really great with microblading, and eyebrows are her specialty. Like, she is a bomb at it. And I've given her information out to 3 customers. I'm like, look, if you're willing to make the drive to Metairie, there are people who are willing to drive all the way out to Lafayette for eyebrows. And I'm like, you don't have to drive out to Lafayette. Drive across the lake, cross the river a little bit, and go see Katie Elise. And then there was another esthetician. She came and showed us how she does body treatments. Lo and behold, she's in Slidell. And for some reason, I thought she was opening up a space in Metairie. No, she's in Slidell. And where she practices, literally 1 block away from me. She is 1 block over where I'm at right now doing body treatments. I'm like, and I've referred her out to people who want the little butt lift. People who want the wooden therapy to help with their core and to help with fat burning. And some other really, really great treatments that I'm not educated in. It's not something that I want to study or specialize in. I can refer them over to her as well. So it's really great. It's not just, yes, you need to worry about you and your income, your bank, your clientele, but, don't be afraid to branch out and share your clientele and collaborate, refer others as well, because they might have someone who's looking for, oh, well, my daughter has homecoming. Do you know any makeup artists? Well, I really don't do makeup, but Shelly, she's over at this salon on Front Street, and she's really great at makeup. Here, here's a way to contact her. And it's just something special about collaborating and working with others, because that whatever you send out, you're gonna get back, hopefully times 3. But just it's all up to you. You are the driver's seat in your life and in your career, and you need to act like it. So today is August 26, 2021, and to date, I passed my National Aesthetics exam on July 22nd, and I am scheduled to take my state board on September 22nd at 9 a.m. in Baton Rouge. I'm currently working at K-Watt Salon here in Slidell, right next to the wine market. And I specialize in facials, waxing. I also do eyebrows and eyelash tinting, and I am working with the brand Dermalogica. I have done a lot of classes. I'm doing a lot of learning. It's a whole new brand for me. They have been around since the 1980s, and I am so excited with everything that I am learning with them. I've done several facials on clients, and I've even done a back treatment on Isa. She is front desk and Kevin's wife. Kevin is the owner of K-Watt Salon. Kevin is an amazing stylist. Well, not stylist. He's more into hair cutting, color, and he even does extensions. And we have Julie, who is a stylist who's been at the salon for 8-9 months, and they're just a really great team. I love working with them. Every day is fun, it's educational, and we really are a team. Like, we work together so well, and I'm excited to see what the future holds, because we just celebrated 16 years in business, and I have met some really great ladies, and just I couldn't have asked for anything better as a new esthetician. It has checked off all my boxes as far as what I need for me and my son. Pay is great. The resources available are phenomenal. I cannot rave about them enough. And the jokes that we have with people who are in our little shopping area, it's mostly the girls from Wine Market, but it's really, really great. And I'm I'm excited. Like, I couldn't have asked for a better way to start off my career as an esthetician. I'm excited to learn about doing chemical peels next month for Dermalogica. There's a whole new lesson on those, and while it's a little frightening for me because essentially a chemical peel is just extra exfoliation and using a little bit more ingredients than what I'm comfortable with, but that's why I'm learning. So it's something that not only can I offer that to my clients and help with some more specialty treatments, but that's also going to help my bank account as well. And you know, maybe mama will be willing to, I don't know, try a chemical peel, maybe have someone do one on me. I need to see if there are some other Dermalogica estheticians around here. So I hope that this answered any of your questions. I hope this was a really great intro back to me being back on YouTube. If you have any questions about Aveda, about going to beauty school, or what it's like being an esthetician, you know, go ahead and comment down below, or you can connect with me on all social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. I'll put all that information down below. I do TikTok. I'm not really as active on Snapchat, but I've been having fun with TikTok. TikTok is not just, you know, oh, trying to reach clientele. It's esthetician fun, it's some lip syncing fun, family, and kind of showing off all the medical knowledge that I have acquired in all of my education. So connect with me on social media. All the links will be down below. And while you're at it, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Click download and subscribe because new videos are coming up. Your girl is back to being active. You know, I've got my schedules, like my calendars. I've got here, I've got my tablet, I've got my paper, and I've got my erasable planner up here. Like, it is full, but it's exciting, and I'm glad to be back. So I hope y'all have a great rest of your week. I will be back to regular schedule postings I'm hoping to get back to my 2 days a week, maybe a third. We'll see how life goes with COVID and pre-K and juggling coffee and esthetician. It's full. And you know, let's see what else is going on. I've got Bob and Cheryl coming next month. Oh Lord. And I'm also currently house hunting. So yeah, a lot going on, but I'm still gonna make time for y'all, and I hope to see y'all back here next time. Bye.